started my career at the Disneyland Hotel, which is the happiest place on earth, right? So I started in food and beverage. There's multiple outlets in that resort. It's a very large resort with a lot of different hotel rooms and a lot of different features. Of course, it's adjacent to Disneyland with the monorail. It became a very successful, award-winning Hilton hotel. And I was very proud about that. I had a really great region of great leaders and team members that really cared about the guest. I was overseeing a Sheraton product. I was overseeing 2 Holiday Inns, one in Calgary and one in Vancouver. I oversaw a Ramada product in Vancouver. I think that it provides information faster, more efficiently, and more accurately, because it's putting you in touch with an audience of people. Like, for instance, we have a program that we use in the hotel called Beekeeper, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Beekeeper, but it's like a Facebook platform, but it's for work. And everyone from the president of our company to the regionals, we have our own little streams. The London Hotel has its own stream, and anything that anybody wants to post, including a team member. The guest is everything. If the guest isn't happy, if the guest does not like your offerings, if the guest does not have great communication with your property, you're going to lose business. So you have to have systems that really track, provide information about the guest, about their experience, about what they like and what they don't like.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another insightful episode of our podcast, Reshape Hospitality with Tech. I'm your host, Maria, and I have Kazim with me as my co host. In this episode, we are joined by a seasoned hospitality professional. He is Jeff Kulek. Jeff, welcome.
My pleasure to be here.
We have talked to many hospitality professionals who started their careers as front desk officer or in the housekeeping. So, could you tell us about yourself? What was your first job? Tell us about the biggest challenges you have ever handled in your career life. And most importantly, is that what motivated you to start your career journey in this industry?
Okay, that's a lot of questions. All right. Well, I actually started my career at the Disneyland Hotel, which is the happiest place on earth, right? So I started in food and beverage. There's multiple outlets in that resort. It's a very large resort with a lot of different um, hotel rooms and a lot of different features. Of course, it's adjacent to Disneyland with the monorail. So I think it was a great starting ground for me. It really taught me about customer experience, how you wow the customer, how you own the customer, which is a really important part of what we teach our team members about always, is that, we just don't refer a guest to another person with a problem. We want to own that guest and make sure that we see through, whatever the guest issue might be. Or if it's something they're celebrating, then, maybe we contact the kitchen and get a birthday cake, or, we want to see it through so that the guest has a seamless experience and that their expectations are exceeded. So, Disneyland did a lot for me in that respect. And it also gave me some very good foundation as far as my work performance and, what's expected from a leader, what's expected from a manager. So I actually was an actor, and I worked a lot in restaurants. And when I decided to stop acting, I wanted to have an environment where it felt like I was putting on a show. So in hospitality, you have that opportunity to enhance yourself, to be more than what you typically are, because you want to really engage the guests and make the guests feel special and present your property with pride and enthusiasm and excitement. So it kind of just complemented what I was doing, and then going into Disneyland Hotel really kind of cemented things for me, and it really started me off with a great background, a great backbone, and it helped me to really get a great start in the hospitality industry. I was an area director for a while when I worked for Interstate Hotels. I was based in Bellevue, Washington at a Hilton hotel, and I was tasked with overseeing 8 hotels in Canada while I opened a brand new Hilton hotel in Vancouver, British Columbia. So
Okay.
not only was I managing my own hotel, but I was managing general managers, managing other brands, and I was working with a very talented team of people that had brought into the property to help
Mhm.
facilitate a hotel opening. So I think for me, that was probably one of the most exciting ventures I had been a part of, to open a hotel from the ground up. I was actually at the grounds at the site with the owners of the property prior to it even being started. So I really was there from the very, very beginning until the property launched, and it became a very successful, award-winning Hilton hotel. And I was very proud about that. I had a really great region of great leaders and team members that really cared about
Mhm.
the guest. I was overseeing a Sheraton product. I was overseeing 2 Holiday Inns, one in Calgary and one in Vancouver. I oversaw a Ramada product in Vancouver, and it was and a Marriott residence, a Marriott Courtyard actually in Canmore. So it's kind of a broad region over the West Coast area.
Mhm.
But there's nothing more exhilarating and exciting about that process of opening a hotel, because it's very strategic. There's a timeline involved. There's training involved. There's, you know, implementation of equipment and training on equipment, and then the hotel opens and you greet your first guest. So it's a pretty exciting but challenging
Mhm.
endeavor.
In which skills do you believe that hotel staff should be giving training?
Well, it depends on the department they're in. So we always believe there's a process where a team member shadows another team member. I think that's the greatest learning experience for that team member, because someone that has been in that position, that knows how to operate in that position proficiently, that does a really great job, is a
Mhm.
leader in that area in their department, will take on the training component and have that team member train through watching this team member how they do their job on a daily basis. But it could be anything. Like if you're in the front office, of course, there's a PMS system. They have to learn
Mhm.
all the technology of the PMS system. We have a brand new technology system as well called Alice, which is kind of a communication system between the guest
Mhm.
and us while the guest is staying in the hotel. And then also it's a back of house system that as well that reports information from housekeeping to our housekeeping supervisor, from engineering, from different departments. If there's a work order that needs to be implemented, or if a guest is asking for something during
Mhm.
their stay, it's a current piece of technology that's helping us to really exceed expectations, because we're on it, and
Yeah.
also to be more efficient in our operations. It's interesting because I've seen the industry evolve over the years that I've been a part of it, to go from having an actual key to get into a guest room to going to card keys. And the technology, of course, has just expanded so rapidly. And we work
Mhm.
with a cloud-based opera system now. There's a lot of new technology that we utilize in our day-to-day work here that helps us to run a successful property.
Thanks for sharing that. And Jeff, you know that providing a remarkable guest experience is what hospitality is all about. So,
Right.
what do you think guest experiences in the hospitality industry will look like in the next 3 to 5 years? Can you share your thoughts on this?
I think perhaps even more intimate than it is now. With the
Mhm.
way that technology and AI are advancing, we'll know a lot more about the guests before they arrive at the property, so
Mhm.
that not only can we make sure that the stay is an excellent stay on our end, but we can anticipate their needs prior to arrival. We already do collect guest information in their folio, but I'm sure that there's going to be newer and better technology coming out about the guest arrival experience, and how to better meet their needs by already knowing what their needs are. If they're there on business, if they have need to have an early check-in, or whatever the case may be. If they're coming with children, if it's a birthday, if there's a reason to celebrate, there's a lot that we like to do to wow the guest. You know, so that when they walk into their room, oh my gosh, look at this amenity from the hotel,
Mhm.
how amazing. Or they've anticipated my needs, and my car's up front at 6:30 in the morning, and there's a valet attendant there to greet me, and I can go off to my
Mhm.
meeting without a problem. So I'm sure there's a lot more technology coming our way with newer ways to communicate with our guests, to communicate with our team, and to make it a seamless experience so that the guest feels at home, feels well taken care of, and doesn't have to always stop at the front desk. Oh, can I have this, or can I have that, or that it's already in motion for them.
Jeff, can you tell us about your role as the area vice president and general manager in the London West Hollywood by Norwood Hospitality?
London is a very unique hotel. It's an all-suite luxury boutique hotel, 226 all-suite guest rooms, and they range in size, 726 square feet, all the way up to the largest suite on the West Coast, which is 16,000 square feet on our roof. We really cater to the entertainment industry, and so a part of my role has been helping to further bring more entertainment volume into our hotel. We do something here called a press junket. I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but it's where a movie has been completed and they're about to launch the movie. So they have celebrities coming into the hotel to sit in different rooms and to have the press interview with them. Some are filmed, some aren't filmed. We also built a screening room that seats 110 people, which is very deluxe and state of the art. And that way, not only can they have these interviews going on with celebrities and the press, but they can actually see the movie. So it's a really unique and interesting part of the London's makeup. And it's helped us to kind of become an epicenter for the entertainment industry as far as a hotel is concerned. So, I oversee the entire operation. As the term is an interesting term, general manager. I generally manage everything, but I also have a team of really great people that I trust and believe in, that, I don't need to micromanage the effort. I have strong leaders here, from housekeeping to engineering to the junket manager, to the banquet leaders that help to facilitate our meetings and our events. And we have an incredible chef here that does a dynamic job preparing an amazing food and beverage to our guests. So it's a pleasure to be able to do that. I also have a resort in Sedona that I oversee. It's called Amara Resort. It's a 100-room resort with a spa. It has beautiful Red Rock Mountain views. I don't know if you ever experienced the beauty of Sedona. It's one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It's great for hiking and families, and it's just a great getaway. When you're discovering the United States, it's a beautiful, beautiful place to go. But I oversee that hotel, and if Northwood does buy any other hotels on the West Coast, then that would become a part of my region.
If we talk about the guest experience as we are discussing on, so you have an idea that some guests will be searching for comfortable beds, other will go for delicious foods like me. So could you tell us what makes your hotel so special to attract guests, and what strategies are being implemented that will enhance the guest experience and keep them coming back?
Well, we really do believe in our London ethos. We're London meets Los Angeles. So the London Hotel offers a high tea, and it's a really unique tea that changes on a regular basis. So, the movie with Willy Wonka just came out, and we did a Willy Wonka high tea where there was a golden ticket, in the chocolate that we provided with the tea. And everybody, either they want an appetizer or they want another tea, or, there was a gift for everybody that came. We're very original in our approach to tea. We will do a traditional high tea, but we also tend to flavor it based on the time of year. So one really great tea was a unicorn tea for kids, where we had unicorn balloons, and, the unicorns were really a big part of children's imagination at one point last year. And so we embraced that and created this really incredible children's unicorn tea that was really fun and exciting for them. So that's a part of it. We also built a state-of-the-art fitness center in our hotel. It's roughly 2,000 square feet and has the latest in fitness technology, including Peloton, Precor machines. It's a floor-to-ceiling windows facing an outdoor patio where people can take out yoga mats and do stretching. We can also provide personal trainers so that if somebody wants
Mm-hmm.
to have that type of experience, we can
Mm-hmm.
provide that as well. But it's a very full service fitness center. And,
Mm-hmm.
California is all about health and eating right. And, and that really complements the guest experience as well. We have a salon here called the Alex Rodin Salon that does hair, manis and pedis, and has a beautiful gift store as well for someone that wants to shop for gifts. It's a really beautiful
Mm-hmm.
place to be able to do that. And then,
Mm-hmm.
we have a variety of menu options throughout the day. So in the morning time, we offer a complimentary breakfast table for our guests that stay in the hotel. It has some hot items on it, mostly cold, but it's a very
Mm-hmm.
big offering. And then we also offer a hot menu as well for someone that wants a more extensive breakfast. But we also have until about midday a pastries and espresso menu so that somebody can have the most amazing pastries. We have our own pastry shop here, and our pastry chef is incredible in creating all sorts of different types of unique and delicious pastries complemented with an espresso of your choice. So we also have a rooftop pool that when the weather's good, where it's a fully staffed pool with a full bar, and we have
Mm-hmm.
cabanas, we have a fire pit. The views are incredible. We're already built on a hill, so even if you're staying on the second floor, you have an
Mm-hmm.
amazing view from the property. But from the rooftop, you have incredible views of the Hollywood Hills, of Sunset Boulevard. You can, on a clear day, you can see Catalina, but we can see downtown Los Angeles. We can see Century City and Santa Monica from our roof deck, and the pool is always heated. We also
Mm-hmm.
had two dogs, bulldogs. Winston and Churchill are our mascots. If you go to our website, you can see them. But they've been around the property. They greet the guests at times. Since COVID, I haven't had them back yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting for the right time to reintroduce them. But there's a lot of things happening in the hotel throughout the day. And then, of course, we're in the heart of the Hollywood area. So if anybody wants to do the sightseeing, Grauman's Chinese Theater, Universal
Mm-hmm.
Studios, if they want to go to the Getty Museum or the beach is only a 30-minute drive, it's really a very centralized location. So despite what somebody might be traveling here for, it's kind of a one-stop shop for the guests to have an amazing experience. The food and beverage offerings in our hotel are phenomenal, but we also have incredible restaurants around us. There's amazing shopping around us.
Mm-hmm.
We have a complimentary car service within a 5 mile radius. So, I could keep going on and on and on, but there's a lot here for the guests to do, and we really go out of our way to make sure that they have a phenomenal time when they're staying with us.
Any specific achievement you are proud of during your time at London West Hotel? What can you share with us?
Well, we were just named the #2 West Hollywood by the readers of US News and Travel, #25 hotel in California,
Mm-hmm.
122 in the United States. So we're in the top 25% of all hotels, according to US News and Travel readers. We were the #3 hotel in Travel and Leisure. The hotel is constantly mentioned in various publications. We also
Mm-hmm.
have publications that come out to our hotel all the time to interview a variety of different celebrities, from John Legend to Selma Hayek to you can only imagine some, because we are in that entertainment capital, the different people that we have here, the publications that come to meet with them. Aside from the press junkets and the theater that we have, they're also here for those types of interviews, and sometimes they're here to stay as well because it's very private and very unique, and our suites are very spacious, more like a little apartment than staying in a 300 square foot hotel room, which is the standard average size of a hotel. So yeah, it's an amazing property with amazing offerings, and there's a lot going on here on a regular basis.
To be successful in the hospitality industry, Jeff, what advice you would give to hospitality
Yeah,
professionals for becoming better hotel managers?
yeah. Our company actually has a mentor program in place where all executive leaders have a mentee from a different
Mm-hmm.
property. And mentoring people is one of the most important things you can do as a leader. And what I tell people, even during the interview process, if they really want to grow, if they want to grow in management or take their next step, it's like you have to show up and be your best every day. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's an easy thing to say, but sometimes it's a hard thing for people to do because we're living a life with uncertainties. Sometimes somebody gets sick. Sometimes there's, a tragedy that may happen in your family or whatever. And of course, you take that time off to grieve and heal. But, every single day, if you were in a car accident, if you had a flat tire coming to work, if it was raining cats and dogs like it recently was, you have to come in here and you have to put on your best face. You have to really show the guest you care.
Mm,
When we do the interview process here,
mhm,
everyone interviews all the way up through me. I interview everyone from the dishwasher to the highest level of executive leadership because I want to know that we're hiring right fit people that care
mhm,
about people and that are warm and welcoming and friendly. And during the orientation process, I tell them, we're not going to give you a script to follow. I want you to be
mm,
you, but on your
mhm,
best day. And I really do mean that. And for managers that want to get ahead of, we just recently hired a couple of new managers, and I've said to them, you know, I walk around the hotel all day long. I'm
mhm,
here through the breakfast, lunch, and dinner time frame. I'm usually here by 6 in the morning, so I see the night shift as
mhm,
well. And I watch what people are doing, how they're interacting with guests, how they're treating team members, how they show up for
mm,
meetings. Are they prepared? Do they show that they have passion? Are they really someone that has a lot of pride in what they're doing? And if they show that every day, they're going to be learning, they're going to be growing, they're going to be developing themselves. And when that next opportunity presents itself, then we're going to promote that person. But if someone's not going to show up and be their best every day, the chances of them getting promoted are very, very slim. I actually have somebody that had worked here when I started and was a breakfast supervisor, really
mhm.
wanted to learn how to be a great manager. And this person showed up every day, working hard, always asking questions, and wanting to learn, wanting to grow, wanting to know. And over a 5-year period, that person became the food and beverage director at the hotel. So it's
Mhm.
quite a success story, but it really does speak to that individual who works hard, who's passionate about what they do, who's willing to learn new things and try different things and have an open attitude. It leads to success. It really and truly does. I've seen it many times. You can spot somebody in a crowd. I mentioned that hotel in Vancouver. There was a
Mhm.
gentleman working at one of my hotels at the Sheraton, and he was the rooms division manager, and he was such a go-getter, so personable and so friendly and outgoing. His team loved him. And when I was able to hire an assistant GM, I put
Mhm.
him in that role at that new hotel to help open the hotel because of his attitude and his spirit and his true. He was a true hotelier. He really loved hospitality and loved making the guest experience special.
You are so right. The right attitude for the right position, it's really matters.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your advice will help them. Do you think industry professionals play a big role in building one's career? If they do, could you share the names of some industry professionals who helped you in building your career and share some impactful stories about their role in your professional life?
Well, sure. Right now, for instance, I'm very fortunate because I work in a company where I report to someone who I greatly admire and respect. His name is Javier Rosenberg. He's the president of Northwood Hospitality. And as a regional vice president, I report directly to him. But he is somebody that is high spirited, imaginative. He has a change mentality. He's always striving to bring new things into the operations that enhance the team member experience or the guest experience. He's a go-to person for me. It doesn't matter what my question is. I can go to him with anything. And, he might be busy in a conference or he might be, conducting a meeting. He'll get back to me the same day, even if it's
Mhm.
late in the afternoon. And he'll take the time to really talk to me and walk me through the answer so that it's very, very well understood and delivered in a manner that helps me to be able to take my next step. So, even
Mhm.
at my stage, at my level of leadership, I have a mentor that I'm looking up to who supports me, believes in me, and helps me run this hotel in a manner that makes Northwood happy and proud and the guest happy as well. So he is a phenomenal leader. There's a gentleman by the name of Dave McCaslin who I met early in my career. He gave me my
Mhm.
first general manager opportunity. And I turned a bankrupt hotel into an award-winning Hilton
Okay.
Hotel in San Pedro. The hotel won a Hotel of the Year award. But he gave me my first opportunity, and he's a gentleman that put me into that regional role that I was talking to you about. He then worked for a company called HEI, and he hired me again. Um, I used to call him the Pied Piper of hospitality because he was so jovial and so happy and so engaging. People just naturally flocked to him. He is such a great leader, and he was always funny. He Even if you had a serious problem, he can get you to laugh on, while discussing that problem. He's just been somebody that's been a constant in my work life and has given me at least three different opportunities in my career to further my development, my career growth, and he's someone that genuinely has believed in me and has supported me greatly. And then there's a woman by the name of Pam Shore. She was a vice president of sales, the head of sales for Interstate at the time that I worked for them. And when you come up through the ranks, you come up through I was familiar with food and beverage. I worked in food and beverage in all sorts of
Mm,
different positions. I worked on the
right.
room side. I never worked in sales. So she took a special interest in me as a first-time general manager, and she really helped me understand the sales process and how important the general
Mm,
manager role is in facilitating the sales process. And when you
mm,
meet a guest or when you're doing a site tour, when the general manager shows up, the client is so grateful and appreciative and surprised that you're there to help facilitate their tour and make sure that they have an amazing experience and want to come to the hotel. So she really taught me a lot about sales, and she taught me at a time that I really needed it. And so,
mm.
sometimes, when you have a problem or an issue, the right person shows up in your life to help you get to that next place. And she's just a very dynamic, interesting, hardworking, dedicated hospitality professional. I think one of the wonderful things in my career is having worked with so many talented people that are true hoteliers, with all the different types of companies now that are running hotels. It
Mm,
used to be very family driven, like the Hilton family and the Marriott family. And, it's now REITs, real estate investment trusts, and, investment owners it's not always driven by a hospitality driven person. So to have these people that show up in your life that you normally would have never met before, I can name 10 to 20 different people that have made significant improvements in my work life just for being who they are and for sharing their gifts and for taking the time to help. Jennifer Ratowski is another woman who is a phenomenal sales leader, had worked with the SH Group, with the One Hotels, and opened the Baccarat Hotel in New York. She was with the London brand at the time when I joined, and she's a phenomenal sales leader. There's so many people that I could mention to you. It's a wonderful thing.
which conference do you like going the most? Can you name it?
Yes. Virtuoso. Virtuoso is a luxury travel show that happens there's multiple luxury travel shows with Virtuoso, but I go to their main show, which is in Las Vegas every year in August. So, you really want to go to the show when you're going to Las Vegas in August because it's incredibly hot there. But it gives me the opportunity to meet luxury travel agents from around
Mm,
the world and even in the United States, and to even people that are booking our hotel, as a general manager, I get to thank them and say, I really appreciate the business that you've brought to us. And if you're ever in town, please call me because I'd love to treat you to an experience if you haven't been to the London. And then,
mhm.
I've met people from South America, from Mexico, from Europe. Some people have never heard of the London. Right now we're the only London in existence, and we're an
Mm,
independent hotel. So I love to educate people about the property, and they're very surprised, because here's this luxury all suite property with all of these offerings, and they don't know anything about it, and they're trying to find the very best accommodation for their guest who's traveling there, and perhaps they've never seen the hotel, so they want to be sure that they're putting them into a hotel that is going to make their stay an amazing stay. So that Virtuoso show is a really important show for us,
mm.
and so I've since we got into the program, I've been going for the last 5 years.
What do you make your weekend special that gives you a sense of
Oh,
relaxation?
Oh, you know, I live in a city in California called Pasadena, and there are three different beautiful botanical gardens in Pasadena: Descanso Gardens, the Huntington Gardens, and the Arboretum. And I love to walk, I love to hike, and to be around that kind of beauty. After a very fast paced, busy, challenging week,
Mm-hmm.
to put on my shorts and my tennis shoes and my sunglasses and my baseball cap, and to just go walking through a garden like that, seeing all the beautiful flowers. And oh my gosh, it's so, like, I'll get up very early in the morning, and like I'll have a early breakfast, and then at 8 o'clock I'm in one of the gardens. I do that frequently, actually, to be honest with you, because
Great.
it's such a way to refresh myself for the weekend
Mm-hmm.
and to get ready for the week. Sometimes I'll go 2 days in a weekend because walking is an excellent activity. It keeps you healthy and strong. And
Yeah.
then being in a peaceful, tranquil, beautiful environment, it just touches all of your senses, and from smells to visual, and the gardens change throughout the year. So that's one thing that I really, really love to do. I also love to go out to eat.
Okay.
I'm a foodie, so I started in
Mm-hmm.
food and beverage. So
Yeah.
Japanese, Mexican, Thai, yeah, any type of food, I'm willing to give it a whirl. And I love to go out with friends, that I haven't seen during the course of the week because I'm so busy, or even family, and just get caught up over a great meal. There's so many places to eat in California, Southern California in particular. Even Northern California, there's great places to eat. But yeah, so I like, and I have a casual weekend. It's kind of low key. I'm kind of on the down low. Now my phone is on 24/7,
Mm-hmm.
and I live with that phone because I have to be available if anybody needs me at the hotel. But normally 9 out of 10 times my team handles whatever might come up. But and I have a very, very peaceful weekend. So
As someone who has been in this industry for a long time, how do you see this massive digital transformation in the industry, especially after the COVID? How do you see it? How it has changed our industry?
the digital world,
Transformation. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it has been a transformation. It really has. I think that it provides information faster, more efficiently, and more accurately, because it's putting you in touch with an audience of people. Like, for instance, we have a program that we use in the hotel called Beekeeper, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Beekeeper, but it's like a Facebook platform, but it's for work. And everyone from the president of our company to the regionals, we have our own little streams. The London hotel has its own stream, and anything that anybody wants to post, including a team member, like, say for instance, if there's a banquet captain and there's a beautiful banquet that was just set up for a wedding, he may take a picture of it. He'll post it on Beekeeper and write, "Saturday night's wedding looked amazing, and thank you to the banquet team for doing an excellent job." And then we have an ability to comment, just like on Facebook. It's like a stream. You just go through the stream and you can comment on the different pictures and posts that um, people are making within the hotel. Sometimes it's someone's birthday, and the whole hotel team gets to do a shout out to that individual. Or celebrating someone's anniversary. Sometimes there's work conversations about scheduling. There's a different side of Beekeeper where it's more about the business at hand, and you can actually communicate with your team through Beekeeper. So it's a really interesting platform, and the more and more we utilize it, the more excited the team gets. Not everybody works 24, no one works 24/7. So to see what's happening in the hotel at different times, different places in the hotel, the chef will post. There's a section in Beekeeper called Foodie Buzz, and the chef will post unique and interesting food and beverage presentations and products that he's experimenting with. So, it's very different and very unique. This is the first hotel I've had that technology with. And then, like, on the flip side, like, for instance, with revenue management, we use a system called Duetto. And Duetto is a system that helps to um, make suggestions to you in terms of how you're setting your rates. It has a memory to it. It has a rhythm for your hotel. But also, as a general manager, I can sign in, and within 2 clicks, I can be at a place where if I'm like, oh my gosh, we're about to sell out on these dates, I need to change the rates. I can change the rates. I can go to my director of revenue management. I can talk to him about any week in the hotel that might be of significant importance to us. So I usually go in there every morning and I'm looking at the rates, the positioning, where the occupancy's at. Have we made the right decision for this particular week? Oscars are coming up. Did we put the right minimum length of stay in place? Are we selling properly? Are we picking up properly? So, it's the digital technology wave is just something that's here to stay, and it's going to continue to grow and expand and get better and get more efficient and provide more information. I think I might have mentioned the Alice program earlier, but that communicates directly with the guests. So once the guest wants to give us their mobile number, they can let us know at any time. Hey, can you send somebody to my room with a luggage cart? I'm ready to depart now. Or hey, I'm at the pool and it's a rainy day, but I still would like to have lunch service in one of your cabanas. We can send a server up there and have someone take their order. So there's so much going on from a technology perspective, and even from a sales perspective. There's 3D meeting planning programs that they can actually come into our website and look at the rooms from a 3D perspective. It's just fascinating to me how it's all changed so much. I remember the days where you had stacks and stacks of brochures to hand out and postcards to send out. That just doesn't happen anymore. It's all that stuff is gone. It's all done through digital technology. So I see it just continuing to evolve and get better and better as time marches on.
So Jeff, you have mentioned, AI is like the talk of the town. Everybody's talking about AI, and you have
Mhm.
mentioned Duetto and Alice. So both are AI-powered software, one for revenue management, one for guest communication. So the properties who still haven't updated to this software, what are they missing on?
It depends on the property, right? So, perhaps if you're a hotel or even a motel, like a 50-room motel, you don't necessarily need to have all of the bells and whistles that a luxury hotel in a major metropolitan city needs to have. But hopefully the ownership group is looking at those things like ours does and brings new technology to the table to better support their properties. It drives revenue. It enhances the guest experience to be able to really see your product, see your guest room, experience your guest room, see the restaurant, see the meeting space, figure out what their meeting will look like in your meeting space. I mean, it really is a sales tool as well, and so it's kind of like an addition to the sales arm. We have all these sales managers that work different market segments. Well, here's a technology that's working a very broad segment of different types of businesses that are trying to decide where to have their upcoming annual event or where to have their function at. And through this type of technology, they can get a pretty good picture of what it would be like to do that if they're not going to be able to do a site tour.
Like there are all these new fascinating technologies. They are exciting, they are new, they're fancy. But with flags and brands, there is a certain process that you have to follow until it
Mhm.
comes to the stage when you can adopt those technologies. But for a boutique hotel, how much flexibility is there, and how can they experiment with all these new technologies?
Well, right now we're doing a beta test at one of our independent hotels on tipping, virtual, where you don't have any cash on you. We can't take a credit card for a tip, but you can scan this QR
QR
code
code, yeah.
and you can give this person a gratuity. So, I think being an independent does give you more flexibility in terms of trying things. I think that the brands like Marriott, Hilton, they're very, very big brands with a lot of brands underneath their umbrella. They want to have cutting edge technology. It might take more time because there's a lot more people to go through in order to have things approved or tested out, the tried and true measures of testing things out. But I remember when I worked for Hilton, they had an RMS, revenue management system, that they were one of the first, companies to have an RMS system. And I learned a lot from working in that RMS system and having regional meetings with a group of people that were focused on revenue management. So I know that they do work toward improving technology. But with an independent hotel, I can call the president of my company and say, there's this new technology I'd really like to try out in my hotel, maybe as a beta test for the rest of the company. And, what would your thoughts be on that? So there is more flexibility. The London brand is upheld because of a leader like me that's passionate about the London brand, cares about the ethos, wants the hotel to be successful, and has a very collaborative, positive relationship with the ownership group. So, yeah, I mean, I tend to look at the positive in all scenarios, in all situations. I've worked for both branded and independent hotels. So, there might be a little bit more red tape in a branded hotel, but then there's the tried and true. Then you really know what you're getting. It's really been looked into and deeply, invested in. Whereas for me as an independent, let me try this. Let me see how it works. Right now we're about to experiment with a new PMS system in the food and beverage department called Toast. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It'll replace our micro system, and we've used micros for years and years and years. So this is something new, something different. We have handheld devices with this system. So we'll see what type of technology it provides for us in having a more accurate food and beverage ordering, maybe more accurate food and beverage tracking, less opportunities to have a mistake on a food and beverage order. It'll be interesting to see as that is implemented at the property.
One thing I wanted to ask is that now, if we see it from a guest point of view, how has the guest expectations changed because of all of these technologies? Like the concept of amenities is just not restricted to traditional amenities anymore. It has transformed to technology as well. So, what is like the minimum threshold of technology that like properties must have to like that maintain that competitive edge?
The guest is everything. If the guest isn't happy, if the guest does not like your offerings, if the guest does not have great communication with your property, you're going to lose business. So you have to have systems that really track, provide information about the guest, about their experience, about what they like and what they don't like. You have everything in there from no foam pillows to, no feathered pillows to foam pillows. Does not want regular Coke in their mini bar, wants Diet Coke in their mini. There's so much detail, and it gives us a lot of opportunity to prepare in advance, but it helps you to be able to win over the guest because you have a cutting edge advantage. You can communicate with the guest ahead of time more efficiently, more effectively, quicker. You can contact the guests during their stay. Say you don't have that Alice system and there's a guest wandering around your hotel and they're like sitting at the pool and they're like, it's raining, but I still want to have lunch. Now I have to get up, go downstairs, figure out how to get lunch up here, or maybe I need to call room service. But no, with one little text, I'm at the pool and I'd love to have lunch up here. Boom. Look how much quicker that is. Look at how much more efficient. And the guests remember those things. The guests want ease. They want it, they want it to be easy. They want to have seamless experiences. If they're here on vacation, they want a vacation the minute they walk in the door. The whole process of checking in and, okay, let's go to the front desk. Let's ask the concierge this question. Okay, now we have to prepare to check out. When you can make those things so much easier for them, that Alice is like a virtual concierge. It answers, hey, I'm at the pool. I'm thinking about dinner. I know that Beverly Hills what's a good time? It's busy, but what's a good time to go out, to get into this restaurant that everybody's going to? What time do I need to dine by? Or how long is it going to take me to get to LAX? How much time do I have to really appreciate the property in the morning before I leave? There's a constant stream of information coming back and forth from the guest, and it's almost like we're on vacation with them. We're here to help you in any way that we can. Just give us a text and we'll have your answer. And then if we see somebody that we're walking by, of course you always say hello, how are you doing? Gives you opportunity to do that the old-fashioned way, face to face, right? But when you're in a property, the guest has to come and seek you out sometimes to get that answer if you don't have the right technology. So it just helps in so many different ways. It makes your operation more efficient and effective. And, I think that it's foolish not to look at technology as an important part of your operation.
You mentioned the old-fashioned way, of conversation of face to face. So what is that perfect balance of technology and the human touch to
You
make
know,
the guest feel?
it's up to the guest. It's whatever the guest wants, right? Because we want it's the guest experience is what it's all about. So now listen, I don't believe in complete automation. When you lose the human touch, you lose the passion, you lose the emotion, you lose the excitement. It's interesting because there's a new hamburger place that opened in Pasadena with no employees. It's all done through machines. I haven't dined there yet, but you go in and you place your order, and this machine that has a name fulfills your order exactly as you've ordered it. Now, what happens when you get that and it's like something isn't right, or it doesn't taste good? It's like I'm sure there's a manager in that operation, but you just dealt with a machine and everything was made for you by a machine and you've paid already. It's just you have to have the human touch. There's nothing like the human touch. You have to have the interaction. You have to have the smile. You have to have the eye contact. You know, I learned something long ago. You don't have a second chance to make a first impression. And that takes people to make that first impression. It's not automation to make the first impression. Like
Mhm.
maybe it was handy and dandy to be able to go through your technology and request the amenities that you wanted in your room before you arrived. But, you want to feel like, hey, there's somebody working here that I can go to if I need something. This person treated me so amazingly well at the front office. I'm going to remember her, and maybe I'll go and talk to her during my stay and get her recommendations for what to do in the area. Or, you can't lose the human touch, but you can always improve and streamline. There's always opportunity to do it better, and technology helps you do that. Even from the
Uh,
maids carts, we used to have these huge maids carts on the floor. Now we have these little tiny, like little travel suitcases. Everything changes. It's bound to get better.
we've talked about human touch. We've talked about staff, trained staff, but staff shortages has been a very prevalent problem in the
Mhm.
hospitality industry. So what is your strategy to handle this?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And there's a lot of different ways to approach it. I think sometimes when people know what your business is like and they know that you're a people focused business that care about the team member experience, that attracts team members and it attracts them in different ways. Some of it is word of mouth. Some of it is through the people that are already working with you. So referrals are huge here. But also, I have very long-term team members and managers here some have been. My chef, for instance, just celebrated his 18th year. Today is his 18th year of working here, and he's still as creative, passionate, and he changes the menu every quarter. He has the passion and the guest in mind. On a constantly to improve his food and beverage offerings. So when it's the right person and when they found a home, like when you feel like this company really cares about me and they pay well, my benefits are awesome, and I love the people that I work with. I'm very proud of the product. I've been here for 10 years now. Normally 10 years is probably too long for a general manager, but with all of the new things that we've implemented over the course of my 10 years and the new customers we've attracted, I'm still just as passionate and excited about where this hotel is going, because we keep evolving and changing and offering new and different and better products and different offerings. So um, sometimes there's also task force companies out there that help you in an interim basis, and they offer very quality people that just don't want to work full time, or for whatever reason they're doing task force assignments. So for instance, right now I have a task force director of catering who's been here now for maybe 2 weeks until I find that right person, and he's doing just a great job, jumped in with both feet and is doing amazing work. So I don't believe in filling open positions with just anybody. It has to be the right person. I'd rather go longer without and help me find that right person. So from an hourly perspective, it just seems like it's been pretty easy for us to find right fit team members for the different departments. A lot of it is through word of mouth. And a lot of it is, people moving to the area. They're looking at sites like Indeed, or they're looking at our website, and they look at LinkedIn, and the London has an opening. Let me see what that's about. So it hasn't been as big of a problem as I've heard from my counterparts in their hotels at our property.
Okay, so this brings us to the end of our conversation, Jeff. It was an
Okay.
absolute pleasure having you on our
Same
podcast.
here. Thank you.
We enjoyed a lot, we learned a lot, and I'm sure our audience did too.
Thank you.
It was a great time.
And once again, it was a pleasure to have you on our podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching us. Hope you liked today's episode. Drop your thoughts in the comment box. Make sure to connect with us on our social media at Advanced Hospitality Technologies. See you with another guest. Till then, take care and have a great day.